Well, hello, dear viewer. It is Uncle Jonah here again, sailing on a sea of beer and hopefully entertaining you at the same time. This is the last one. Yeah, the box is now empty, which, yeah, I was a bit surprised about. I thought there were more beers, but never mind. Um, this is the last one from the birthday beer box, Vibrant Forest. This one is called Black Forest. Not Black Forest Gatto, but Black Forest Porter. And it's in a kind of predominantly black and kind of red can. There's a style of art that uses red and black, and tattooing as well, of which I don't have any. I'm too much of a pussy. Anyway, we have got nice description on the back. Black Forest is a very rich, thick and flavoursome porter. Fantastic. In the style of those brewed in old London. Cool. The aroma broils. Wow, that's an interesting word. With roast coffee and dark chocolate. Espresso and charred malts follow, so double coffee. And the finish is dark, fruity, bittersweet. This is not your average porter. Very interesting. 4.9% A. And I think, did I see some oats in there? No, I didn't. I'm finding it tricky. Is it just barley? Yeah, just barley hops, yeast and water. Interesting. Reinholzgebot. And it's a big can. So thank you once again to my godfather, my cousin, and his wife, obviously, Mark and Ange. Thank you very much for the beers. Very good. You know how to make someone smile, and I definitely have been smiling whilst drinking these beers. Thank you very much. And of course to you, dear viewer, for keeping me company on this voyage over to Hampshire, essentially, the vibrant forest. Some have been good, some not so much, but you can't have everything, can you? And some I was a little bit drunk as usual. Sometimes I do these reviews and I've had a beer or two, sometimes a cider, at the Royston. Not today. More or less a finger's head. Lovely kind of mocha coloured, definite carbonation heads. You can tell by looking at the bubbles, even though I've just taken it out of the focus. Huge bubbles means carbonation. Right, let's do one of these. Ooh, move that way. I'm slightly off centre today. It's a bit odd. There we go. A cheesy grin. I realised I was looking at some of my back videos, and they're all me giving a cheesy grin. And I used the same photos on Untapped, so yeah, you can tell how often I do the videos, or I'm down at the Royston, for example, just by looking at my my photos on Untapped. Yeah, if you follow me on Untapped and you see a cheeky, something like that, that usually means there is a video to follow either that day, like today, I'm going to upload it the same day, but sometimes I'll drink a beer today, and if it's a bit later in the evening, I'll do the upload the next day. That makes sense. Yeah, so that's why things are a bit weird. It's never the other way round. Well, never say never, but yeah, we shall see. Right, so look at this beer, dark as darkness could be, which is fantastic. A little bit of shininess coming off the, you can see that's my window, so the light is still up. So there we go. And on the nose, all sorts of nice roast things. Roast coffee, definitely. There's a little bit of fruit, kind of dark fruit, like a cake. I always go for the cake analogy, which is cool. There's a bit of sweetness there in the background too, which is always nice. Yeah, my nose is reasonably good. My eyes are absolutely terrible, hence why I put these things on. They've got a lot worse of late in the last year, so you'll probably see me using the glasses a bit more. Um, but yeah, my sight is fast going. I hope I never go blind, but you never know, do you, dear viewer? Right. Yeah. Cheers and beers to you. Let us see what we get on this, the finale, the bad boy. Cheers and beers. Okay. Oh, yeah. Lovely roast. A little bit of bitterness. And when I say bitterness, it's kind of like a coffee or a really dark kind of chocolate bitterness. I was thinking there'd be a bit more cake, a little bit more sweetness, like some of the darker, stronger kind of beers, dark strongs and stuff like that. But no, this is remains reasonably dry. Um, but that roast every now and then, it just keeps coming back, keeps hitting me the roast flavors. So a slightly less coffee, like not a sweet coffee, and not a huge. I mean, it talks about espresso. Sorry, not espresso, which is what I used to say, espresso. Um, but it never quite follows into that coffee taste. It's just roast. Yeah, it's roast malt, which is exactly what it is. I haven't put any coffee in here, so I'm not getting any of that kind of sweet coffee flavour. There's a little bit of suggestion of bitterness. And when I say bitterness, I mean a malt astringency. There's no bitterness really from the hops, although I'm sure there are some in there. Um, yeah, I'd go with more dark chocolate that doesn't have as high a sugar content. So it's really dark, it's really roasty tasting, but it never really develops into that espresso, into that coffee, and it finishes so dry. It's kind of almost stout-like in that regard. It's not creamy though, like an Irish stout would be. So I'm happy that they've called this a porter. But yeah, real roast. If you like your roasty ones, this is a really good one for you. Oh, there is a bit of fruitiness there, but it's really upfront. Um, and it's like, I mean, it's kind of like a cacao bean, if you've ever tried those. Um, yeah, it's weird because the bitterness kind of almost gives away a kind of fruitiness as well, but it's a real dark. I can't quite think of the name of the fruit, but it's a really dark, really bitter kind of thing. I think they said it on the can. Let me have a look. Dark, fruity, and bitterness. But they're talking about that in the finish, and I'm not really getting it in the finish. I'm getting it really up front. Um, what I find is a lot of people, and when I'm judging, there is a category that you have to judge often called aftertaste. Um, but there's never one that says, I mean, mouthfeel is a thing as well, but that's kind of how thick and juicy it is in your mouth, which I will talk about. Um, but I get something which I guess would be a pre taste because I as soon as I drink a beer and it hits my taste buds, I get taste, but as soon as I swallow, that's when the actual flavors develop. So, but I think that's a definite separation in those two things. So while the beer's, yeah, really up front. I call it up front, but really early before you're actually drinking the beer down, if that makes sense. Um, and it's only there very briefly, but that's when I'm getting the fruits. Maybe it is recurring a little bit in the aftertaste, but because it's so roasty, that's where I'm getting those kind of dark roasted, pardon me, quite carbonated as well. Um, that's where I'm getting those bitter, astringent type flavors. Yeah, weird. And this has not been in the fridge. Well, actually, that's strictly a lie. It's had 10 minutes in the fridge just to kind of take the edge off the carbonation of the beer. I didn't really want it exploding anywhere. But at the same time, I didn't want this one really chilled down because then you wouldn't get those flavors, would you? Especially if you got your fridge on really high, as in a low temperature, like we do. Um, Yeah, as usual, the Vibrant Forest thing. Some of the beers really aren't developing that much lacing, and the head has kind of disappeared somewhat, so the head retention isn't really there, which is a real shame. I mean, it's got legs, shall we say, as it sort of drips, but it's not sticking to the side of the glass, which is a real shame because dark beers, especially, or high malted beers, tend to kind of give that lacing, which I really, really like. And that is a sign that maybe they've underused the malts in the beers. I was chatting with someone about, it might be Mike. Hey, Mike, I know you're watching these sometimes. But it might not have been him about, well, I definitely talked to him about head retention, but the lacing side of it, or the kind of particles sticking to the side of the glass and creating the lacing, I haven't really gone into. And yeah, I'm a firm believer in a little bit of oats to help out. And it does help out with the mouthfeel and the creaminess, especially with dark beers. But that's maybe something that I like. The mouthfeel, they said, oh, it's a really thick and opulent beer. Let's have a look. What did they say? There we go. It says rich, thick, and something flavoursome. I don't think it says very rich and thick. No, I'm not getting that. Sorry, guys. It's got quite a nice mouthfeel, but it's not something that I would call thick. And this is kind of what I was just talking about. Adding a little bit of oats into your grist, into your malt bill, even a little bit of wheat, tiny bit of maltodextrin, but you don't want to do that too much because it kind of sweetens the beer up, and things like lacto. No, you don't want that. So I would say maybe a tiny bit of a little bit of oat, just to give it a bit more oomph, a little bit of creaminess. Might not be traditional, and obviously you've gone for an old London porter recipe, which probably wouldn't been this strong, I would have thought, in the old days. Although stouts and porters, stout porter is where stout came from, which was a stronger version of porter. And then it swapped over and porters were stronger than stout. Man, the difference, don't even get me started between the difference between stouts and porters. But yeah, it's not bad mouthfeel, but it's not very rich and thick. No, not at all. Let's keep going. You can just hear I think the washing machine's doing some sort of spinning in the background. So apologies if you can hear that kind of weird humming noise in the background. Oh, that is nice. And I do like the fact that it's quite simple, because you've done it just with the malts. which is cool. But yeah, it's interesting. It's that play between fruity kind of roastiness, which is cool. I wonder if they're thinking the same lines. I wonder if that's what that red colour significance, the kind of berry versus the darkness there. And look, there's some storm clouds in the sky, as there has been, at least there has been here. My God, there was thunder come 8 o'clock this morning when I just started work. My goodness, absolutely crazy. But I do live on an island and I do live within a mile of the sea, so that does happen sometimes. There we go. That is Vibrant Forest Black Forest. I spoke to someone actually about this beer, and they said it's much better on cask than it is in the can. So I very much look forward to when I can get over kind of to the New Forest and maybe try that even at the tap room or yeah, somewhere local. Guys, this has been Uncle Jonah. Hopefully you've found this entertaining. I don't often say it these days, but why not consider subscribing, click like to the video, all that kind of jazz. And if you've tried this beer and you think I haven't delved deep enough into the flavours, give me a comment down below. This has been Uncle Jonah. It's sad when I come to the end of a kind of series, but that was the last beer in the birthday box. Please take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll be back. I'll find something to do with another beer review, and that'll be coming up real soon.